Should men chase women or let them come to them?
It's your responsibility as a man to make the offer. If you wait for women to come to you, you will stay single or you will end up in an average, subpar relationship. I had to not chase her, but I had to introduce myself. Would you have come to me? First of all, you didn't even see me. And if you had seen me, would you have introduced yourself to me?
No.
So you wouldn't be here 5 years later. It's your responsibility as a man to start the conversation and to make an offer. All you're doing throughout the whole dating process is to communicate offers to her in an effective way. Not an offer she can't refuse, but an offer that's alluring, that's exciting. That is your responsibility as a man. You are allowed to chase the outcome of a relationship, just never one particular individual. You got to make it happen. But taking action, communicating your personality authentically and effectively, and leading, that is not the same thing as chasing and needing. You can want the outcome of a relationship, but never one particular individual. This is where most men go wrong. They get feelings for one lady, they get some signals. They say, oh, I actually really like her. Have you ever had that one? Her, I actually really like her. And then you start messing it up. You're supposed to actually like her, but never chase one individual. If she doesn't want to go on a date with you, you move on. If she ignores your text messages for a week or two, you move on. Now, you also have to understand what led to her losing interest. If she initially likes you and then she loses interest, it's because you have blind spots in your communication that you have to fix. Those blind spots in your communication must be fixed. So you need to get some sort of external feedback so you don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. But overall, yes, get a lot of quality options, but then chase the process as opposed to the outcome of one particular individual. Is it screwed or can we keep rolling? Is it fine? What do you think? If it's good, then we just keep rolling, because then we don't need to have a cut. Yeah, that's good? Awesome. Cool. We just keep rolling. No cuts. Next question, baby.
How does a guy build confidence when approaching high-quality women?
There's 4 sources of confidence. The first one is competence, getting good at the skill set. Second is managing your mental and emotional state. Third is osmosis, spending time around other quality men. And then the fourth one is beliefs. What do you tell yourself about yourself and the value you bring to the situation? Next question, babe.
What's the best way to deal with rejection while dating?
Understanding that rejection is something you should chase. If you can chase the rejection, the probability that you'll stick in the dating process until you find a quality woman is a lot higher. Most men get hurt by rejections because they haven't had enough. You haven't been rejected nearly enough, that's why it hurts. If you would just expose yourself to rejections more and more and more often, it wouldn't hurt. You can actually get a high from it. You can train yourself to feel better after rejection than before. And that depends on your mental and emotional state. That depends on how many rejections you've gotten before. And it ultimately depends on the meaning you give the situation. Like in anything. If she rejects you, and you then say, well, I must have fucked something up. This will never work for me. I'm always going to stay alone. I won't be loved. Well, then obviously you're going to feel terrible. This was my only chance. Tony Robbins says, we only suffer when we believe less, loss, or never. I have less of something, I lost something, or I will never have something ever again. So if you want to free yourself from suffering, my brother, you have to destroy the illusion of loss. Because ultimately, we live in a world of abundance. There's an abundance of options. She's gone, next, next, next. Ultimate commitment to abundance will provide you with the internal fortitude and the internal resilience that you need to stay in the process long enough until you can choose the right woman. You gotta get the rejection, chase the rejection, get more. Be that on dating apps, be that on Instagram, be that an in-person component. You need to have all of it. You cannot just hide yourself behind the screen. Yes, 50, 70% of my clients find their girlfriend or wife through dating apps. Fair enough. But you will become a man of character if you can't approach in person. Most men tell themselves, I could if I really wanted to, but they can't. If you're not doing it, then you can't. If you're currently not introducing yourselves to ladies in a Starbucks or in a bar or whenever you happen to see them, in day-to-day situations, if you're not doing it, it's either because you haven't overcome your approach anxiety or because you haven't mastered the skill set. That's it. I want to invite you to face more rejection until it doesn't hurt you anymore at all. If you're successful in your career or your business, you're there because you've desensitized yourselves to shitty things happening to you. It's normal. And eventually it doesn't hurt as much anymore. I want to invite you to chase after this fearful thing called a rejection. The reason most men live in pain, the reason most men live in this hell is because they haven't gotten enough rejections. And that's why when one individual that they've put all their eggs in one basket in, that they've prematurely invested in, rejects them, their whole world crumbles down because they believe that the psychological and emotional well-being and fulfillment depends on the validation of this one particular lady. It doesn't. You don't need her. Everybody can be replaced. Marshall Rosenberg, founder of Nonviolent Communication, clearly says that any psychological need you have can be met independently of any particular person. You don't need her. Bro, now, you do need to live in a world of objective reality where you give your brain the proof, not just the promises that you are desired. You need to give your brain the proof, not just the promises that you are desired. The only reason I was able to get somebody like Fernanda and get her engaged, show the ring, babe, boom, is because I wasn't needy in the beginning. Even though she may have not been too excited about my lack of neediness in the beginning, the only reason I'm here is because I wanted her, but I didn't need her. Next question. Good? You like that?
I was like, didn't you?
Didn't I what?
Did me?
Well.
I'm joking. Next.
Before I say something beta.
Controversial. Should men date multiple women at once until they find the one?
Yes, of course. You got to be time efficient. What do you think? Do you think she's not dating multiple guys at the same time? Now, honestly, were you dating multiple guys when you were with me?
No.
Good. Double standard. Now, she could have if she would have wanted to, but I did appreciate that she didn't. Now, because we dated non-exclusively for a while, and then we made it exclusive, and then we went into a proper relationship. But you as a man should be absolutely honest and not lead women on. And don't lie. But of course you can date multiple women at the same time. What if you don't? If you don't, then you're going to date one woman for 3 or 4 months, realize it doesn't work out, and another one, and then it'll take you 4 years instead of 6 months or 5 months or 3 or 9. Of course you need to evaluate your options at the same time. She's supposed to do the same thing. If you find somebody that you actually really like after 2 to 3 months of dating non-exclusively, then you can move it into an exclusive relationship. Absolutely no problem. But you have to evaluate your options at the same time. Because in order to find somebody for a fulfilling relationship, you need compatibility. For compatibility, you need to interview a lot of people. You need to kiss a lot of frogs to find your princess.
Next.
Yeah, please.
What's the best way to make a great first impression on a date?
1, the way you dress, hygiene, smiling. But here's a concept that's important to understand. Vibing in the beginning, fun, man-to-woman connection, all of that comes after. Vibing and comfort first. In the beginning, you want to just build comfort. Show you're a normal human being, especially if you met her off an app, for example. She has no reference experiences. And women have been on a lot of weird dates. So vibe, comfort for the first 10, 15 minutes. And then you want to be polarizing. Not over the top. Please be calibrated. Then you want to be fun. So vibing, fun, a man-to-woman connection, polarizing. And it's okay if the date in the beginning is a little bit more awkward. Not awkward, because you don't have to bring a sense of awkwardness. Awkwardness only exists if you let it, by the way. Awkwardness is a meaning you give a situation. You don't have to ever allow any sense of awkwardness. But it's fine for it to be more smooth 50 minutes in than 5 minutes in. Because women will notice the delta. They will notice the delta between how they felt an hour and a half in as opposed to at the beginning. More so than just the emotion itself. Do I feel more comfortable an hour in or less? They're checking in with themselves. And therefore it's okay if it just keeps getting better. It just can't get worse. That's why it has to keep escalating. Very good question. Next, please.
How should a guy talk about his intentions without scaring a woman off?
How should a guy talk about his intentions?
Yeah. How should a guy talk about his intentions without scaring a woman off?
By not talking about your intentions too much. You just tell her you like her, you compliment her, you go on dates with her, and she knows you like her. You don't need to confess your love for her. I imagine our 4th date, and I would have said, you know what? 4th date, 5th date, 3rd date, I really like you. You know, I think you're special. You're beautiful. I really can see this going somewhere. Look, genuinely, even if you would have liked me, how would you have reacted that early?
Too early.
When do you think, I know you've heard me talk about it for 5 fucking years, but when do you think would have been the earliest I should have asked to make it exclusive? What would have been too soon?
3 months ish.
What if after 4 weeks I would have come?
No.
There you go. 2 to 3 months, guys. 2 to 3 months. Give it time. Give it time. Now, if after 3 months I would have wanted to make it exclusive with her and she would have been ready, I would have moved on. Now, for us, it was a tiny bit longer than that. But yeah. So you don't need to confess your love. You just spend time with her and she realizes you like her. You do use compliments, but by your very presence, she realizes she likes you. You don't need to overcompliment her. You don't need to get a sacrificial lamb as an act of commitment. None of that. No gifts. None of that. No gifts for the first year, by the way, please. Next question.
What's the biggest turn off on a first date?
You tell me. Think about some of the first dates you've had.
What?
It's like, no. On a normal first date, what were some turn-offs that you've had in the past with guys? Things you really didn't like?
One time, one guy, he hugged me like for too long.
For how long?
I don't know, like maybe a minute. And he was like, hugging me and pressing me. I miss you.
Beginning of date or end of the date or like?
And like, hi, how are you? And then he hugged me.
And you didn't let go?
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And he was, I missed you. I was like, how? It's our first date. And then he was like, And it was very weird.
Okay, don't hug. That's weird. What else? What are other weird things you've experienced guys do or other guys you've heard other people talk about?
I don't know, saying I love you on the first date.
Don't say that. When? How soon? When did I say it, by the way? After a year or something, right?
Yeah.
And I said it first, right? It's okay to say it first, guys. Just don't. What would have been the soonest I should have said I love you?
I don't know, like after 6 months. Like 1 year is like a good time to know if you really love the person.
Love is a big word.
Yeah.
Imagine like first time we have sex. I love you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It freaks them out. Why? Because it's an overinvestment and it's too much pressure. Yeah. So it was about weird first impressions or best first impression? What was it?
What's the biggest turn off?
Oh, biggest turn off. Yeah. Those things, not being calibrated, being boring, only talking about yourself, only asking questions. There's a whole host of mistakes you can make. By the way, we have 300 videos on this YouTube channel and a lot of them touch on that. So check those out as well. Next question, babe.
Oh. Let me see, a good one.
Not prepared. But I like this format. I don't have to rant the whole time. Because tomorrow we're going to go and shoot a couple really epic long form, just me, going hard type of videos. So I like this a little bit more casual style.
Okay. So, how important is physical attraction versus emotional connection in early dating?
Physical attractiveness is a secondary evaluation criteria when it comes to the selection of a long-term partner for women. When it comes to short-term hookups or even cheating, it's way more important. But if you're a normal-looking guy, don't worry, you'll be fine. Because there are studies that have shown that what women know about you determine how attractive they'll find you. Now, what determines what they know about you? How you communicate it and what you communicate. Communication is the ultimate skill set.
So how does a guy show interest without coming across as desperate?
You give compliments, teases, misinterpretation, push-pull. Next. Fernanda wasn't prepared. She thought I was going to go off on this epic rant right now. Yeah. Not everyone is going to be an 11-minute rant.
How do you balance being authentic while still trying to impress a woman?
How do you balance being authentic while still trying to impress? You're not supposed to try to impress her. The more you're trying to impress her, the less impressed she'll be. Just focus on fun, on giving her good emotions. Here's the key. Self-amusement. The more you can say something to make yourself laugh, she'll laugh if there's rapport. Now, don't be doing dad jokes. Don't be cringe. Do not be cringe. And don't try to be really funny if you're not funny. But if you say things that actually amuse you, I'm sure you have a friend who's not funny, but he laughs about himself so hard that you can't help but laugh about it because he owns it. You've had this. And that's it. Self-amusement is a very powerful concept. Do I say what I say to impress her or to make myself enjoy the interaction? Now, obviously, you're supposed to enjoy the interaction because of what she brings to the table. Beer.
Beer.
Inside joke, we've talked about it in one of the previous videos. But you're also supposed to enjoy the interaction because of you simply liking what you're talking about. Do you like the subject matter you're talking about or not? Do you find the joke funny that you're saying or not? If you can unapologetically own it and there's rapport because of mirror neurons, she will feel similar emotions to the ones you're currently feeling. Next question.
What's the top one mistake guys make when dating with a serious relationship in mind?
We should have prepared these questions before. What's the top one mistake men make when having a serious relationship in mind?
Yeah.
So many. Over-investing too early, not using dating apps properly, Tinder, Hinge, Raya, Bumble. By the way, if you want us to help you with any of that personally, apply for a free initial consultation call. Okay? If you're a man who's successful in his career or his business, and you want us to help you personally find a meaningful, serious, long-term relationship, apply for a free call. But not taking dating apps serious, not sending messages on Instagram, not doing approaches, not getting enough quality options. There's basically, in essence, two mistakes you're making. Two things you're lacking. Enough quality options and women losing interest in you. Right? You fix that and you're 60-70% of the way there. Now, 80% of success in anything is mindset. 80% of success in anything is mindset because that will allow you to take the actions necessary and to find the strategies. Free resources, like 300 free videos on YouTube, 100 podcast episodes, thousands of short form videos, a paid coaching program. There's resources out there for you, but you have to make the decision and you have to resolve within you what's been stopping you. Any reason as to why you might not believe it's possible for you is nonsense. I travel, business, time, nonsense. Do you want to be single by the end of 2025? Or do you want Christmas to be there and you have a beautiful woman in your arms? Maybe you're starting your own family. Maybe you're merging families. Do you want to have a beautiful person by your side, yes or no? In the end, winners get the result. Losers make excuses. Losers externalize. They find some excuse, some reason as to why the outside is preventing them from having a result they truly desire. Like, dating apps don't work. I don't have enough time. We all have 112 waking hours available to ourselves. All of my friends are married. These are all externalizations. It is you who's responsible. If you assume the responsibility for creating such an outcome in your life by yourself, you will be able to do that. Because assuming the responsibility doesn't mean you blaming yourself. It simply means understanding that you're in control. And I want you to feel in control. Because life is very enjoyable when we feel like we're in control. And you are!
Should a guy tell a woman early on that he's looking for a serious relationship?
Great question. What do you think? First date. Should he say that? Should he bring that up?
After a while, he should show it, but like not say it.
Yeah.
Like, so by the way, I'm looking for a serious relationship, okay? You know, yeah. Not like that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You show it, but you don't have to say it. Now, you can say, if she asks you, what are you looking for? Here's the phrase. Let me give you a template. So, but on a first date, tell me if you like this or not. If she asks you, for example, I wouldn't necessarily bring it up. You don't have to bring it up at all. But if she brings it up, you can just say, what are you looking for? I'm not looking to rush into anything, but eventually I do want to find a quality relationship. Mm-hmm. If she brings it up. But imagine you're on a first date and say, so, are you looking for something long-term and serious? It's weird, right? Not with you, exactly. Pushed away immediately because it's pressure. Ugh, women don't like pressure. They want things to go with the flow, and it's supposed to feel natural. It's all supposed to be a Disney movie. Plausible deniability. Things just happened. Next time we'll do a better job at preparing these questions. But at least it's raw, uncut. No cut in these videos.
How can a man stay patient while looking for the right one? Looking for the right one.
Yeah, I get it. How can a man patient? How can a man stay patient while looking for the right one? By enjoying the process. I know you're somebody who doesn't want to date. You're somebody who just wants to find a quality relationship. You don't want short-term hookups. You want a long-term relationship. The more you can enjoy the process, at least temporarily, for X amount of months, the higher the probability you'll find someone. The more you need it right now, the less you can have it. Yes, commit yourself to the process. All of my clients are like that, by the way. They just want to find a quality relationship. And I tell them, yes, of course, but enjoy the process. Go on dates. You're not going to marry every single woman you're going to go on a date with. Want the outcome, but don't need it. And that doesn't mean you're going to be passive. Most people will hear this, and they'll just go passive. They say, I'll manifest the right one eventually. When I'm ready, the right one will find me. Nonsense. If you just wait for the right woman to magically manifest herself into your life, you will end up in an average relationship. So you do have to take action. Sorry, what was the question again?
Oh.
I keep ranting, and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m. in the night, by the way, just so you know.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, the question one more time, please.
Oh, now I lost it.
What was the question? Oh, patient. Right, thank you very much. So the way you stay patient is you focus on the little wins. It's easy to stay patient when you're making progress. It becomes very difficult to stay focused on a goal when we feel like things aren't working. Oh, I don't like dating apps because they're not working. I guarantee you for a fact, if you had amazing dates from dating apps, like a lot of my clients do, you'd love them. You would love approaches. You would love Instagram. Anything that works, we like. You just don't like it, bro. Yeah, because you don't know how to make it work. That's all. Because you have no idea how to make it work. If you knew how to make it work, you would fucking love it. So as long as you're making progress towards the goal, you're getting dates, more quantity, more quality, they stay interested in you, you're making progress. That's what makes you feel alive. It's very easy to stay patient as long as you're making progress.
One more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
How can you tell if a woman is serious about a relationship or just having fun? How can you tell?
Well, I wouldn't worry about that at all. I've never even asked myself that question. You just, obviously there's certain red flags that you can look for, and we have videos on our YouTube channel here that are specifically on red flags, goes too deep for this one. But after 2 or 3 months, you just make it exclusive. And if she doesn't want to make it exclusive, you just move on. But you can tell whether she's somebody who wants to go to nightclubs every weekend or whether she's somebody who's looking for something more meaningful. I think you should be able to tell by her general demeanor, by basically an absence of red flags. That's what you're screening for. One more.
One more.
Or maybe a couple of more. I'm in the flow.
What's the best way to avoid awkward silence on the first date?
Awkward.
Awkward. That's what I mean.
Awkward silences. Awkwardness, as I alluded to earlier, does not exist. There is no element on the periodic chart, or whatever it's called awkwardness. AW does not exist. Awkwardness is something you create within yourself. Anything that could be awkward could also be funny. You make it awkward. You project it into the situation. You can just own it. You can just be funny. If you just own it, the concept of owning it is so unbelievably powerful. If you just own it and you have zero insecurity around whatever happens, it's fine. I remember I was 12 or 13 years old and we had religious practice. We were all in school. And this was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my teenage life. I mean, I got punched in the face when I was 10 years old. And that was a rougher moment, not by my parents or anything, by a dude on the street, which ultimately led me to pursue martial arts. But hey, we were sitting in church, everybody's in a circle, and the priest just got quiet, and I farted. And I didn't want to. It was an accident. I really didn't want to. I was so embarrassed. I felt so embarrassed. But if I would have just owned it and smiled, nothing would have happened. If I would have just owned it, I'm not telling you to go around farting, obviously not. And I didn't want to. I'm not telling you to do that. But if it just happened, right? And it was such an embarrassing moment as a teenager. I remember it so vividly, I just wanted to fucking die. But if I would have just owned it, fine. If you fart on a date, own it. If you spill a drink, own it. Oh my God, relax. Don't fart, obviously. But if it happens, a little burp, who cares? Be fine. Be calibrated. But if something happens, own it.
How can a guy avoid falling for the wrong type of woman?
Screening red flags. And most men can't read red flags for shit. That's what I have my clients with. Again, apply for a free initial consultation if you want us to help you with that personally. But avoid people who, this applies to men and women, who love the validation of too many different people. Male friends is a big red flag. Emotional volatility, her judging you, her emotions being up and down. Again, we have a YouTube video with red flags where we go into detail. I think it's called 12 Signs She's Toxic. And by the way, they all apply to men as well, right? So it's not just one way. Watch those videos and they will truly, truly help you.